Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I want to talk about who will the Phoenix Suns draft in the NBA draft. They have the 29th pick, so who do you think they should draft? There's a few options, and it's always interesting when it gets to this time of year. I think they have an option that they didn't really think was an option, and it's probably their best option. So I want to hear down below, who would you draft if you were the Phoenix Suns? So let's get right into today's video, guys, and let's talk about those Phoenix Suns. So yes, this offseason is going to be definitely interesting and definitely revamp. They have a mid-level exception of 9.5 million. So yes, they can do things to improve, you know what I mean, the roster. But I think the draft is somewhere that they're actually going to have to look at and be like, look, this is legitimately how we're going to have to improve the team this year, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But, and I think the draft is one of the smarter ways to get pro-ready players. We've seen contending teams do it before. So again, guys, I want to hear those thoughts. Who would you draft if you were the Phoenix Suns? So let's get right into today's video. And I think they should draft Jeremiah Robinson Earl. He's a forward who should be able to compete at multiple positions. He isn't a great shooter, but for the Jazz, they believe in their development process. His IQ is through the roof, so he would fit in with what Monty Williams is doing. And he could go much higher than the first round than just at this. Some have him in the second round. I am slotted right here at the 29th pick. I think he would be perfect for them, okay? He would come in and he would play some stingy D, okay? People would not like playing against him because of how stingy his D will be. And I think he would be a great addition to this team. And he's a guy that I think scouts aren't, hyping up as much as they should be, okay? He's really as good as I'm making him sound. I think he's a guy that can come in. He's strong enough to play small ball four, and he has the ability to pull threes. He can play like Blake Griffin, the Morris twins, and PJ Tucker, what they did in the playoffs. I think he's a perfect guy, and they need a backup center. As we saw when Frank Kaminsky came into the floor, it was kind of like, why is this happening to us, And you wish that they could find somebody else that, hey, let's go and get somebody who's more of us, who's going to fit our system better. So that's why I think our boy, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, perfect fit for this team. Now, another guy they could look at is, it's interesting because there's a lot of positions, okay? I think Kessler Edwards, great player, phenomenal player, and a 3-year starter at Pepperdine, and he got better every single year. And I think he's a guy who could definitely help the Phoenix Suns. And I really would like a big man, a guy like Usman Garuba is still in the draft, and he could really fall. He's been falling in pre-draft, and if he were to fall to the Phoenix Suns, I think the Phoenix Suns would pick him up in a heartbeat. Defense. Garuba is probably one of the best defenders in Europe as a teenager and profiles a potential all-defensive team guy by the time he's 25. He can defend on the interior, terrific fundamentals for verticality and weak side shot blocking. His ability to slide his feet and drop his hips laterally is ridiculous. His instincts as a pick-and-roll defender are terrific. The problems come on offense. He's still not a particularly effective player on offense, but there are signs of progress. He's been making more threes, and he can put the ball on the deck for short rolls of a time, and he's not afraid. So yeah, I think really he could be a guy who helps a contending team get to the next step. Usman Garuba or my boy Jeremiah Robinson Earl are like my two top picks right there for them. I think the other guy you could really think is like DeSumo could help them, but do they really need help at shooting guard? Maybe. He's just a guy who can get drafted and immediately help because he has the athleticism, vision, defensive ability, length, and poise. And he hit 39% this year, under 100 attempts from three-pointers, and he's at 34.5% through his career on 300-plus attempts. It's just because he has a wonky shot mechanically, but that's like super fixable. So is that the best option? I don't know. I want to hear your guys' opinions. What would you guys do, like, if you were the Phoenix Suns with this pick? I think it is definitely, like, you're sitting here and you're like, I don't know what would be the best thing to do right here, you know? Because it's always very interesting compare whenever the new year starts. So going into the season, I think a guy like either Jeremiah Robinson, Earl, Usman Garuba, Ayo DeSumo are all people who would so help this team into getting better and going back to the NBA Finals and getting Chris Paul that ring that he so rightfully deserves, you know? Because, damn, it does suck. It does suck. Okay, we can all agree that them losing in the NBA Finals sucks. Coming up short's better than losing in the game, because then you're like, we were there, but we couldn't fucking finish, and that's probably one of, if not the worst feeling. And I think that's where you get upset. You're like, damn, what are we gonna do? How do we make up for this? Because you feel like you're just lost and it's just going to suck and you can't come back from it. But yeah, I really think that the Phoenix Suns, either Jeremiah Robinson Earl, if Usman Garuba falls that far, do it. I think it's definitely an interesting situation that they're in. But it's interesting because they are at 125 million. They have a 9.5 cap mid-level exception. So you got to just roll with the punches, whatever they say. But yeah, that's basically the video for me today. We're going to just milk this bad boy up to 8 minutes. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. But yeah, because 8 minutes, if you guys did not know, is what I do my videos for. I think like 8 minutes is something good. The algorithm on YouTube loves that. And they're like 8-minute videos. Holy crap, that's amazing. So we've gone back to 8-minute videos. Some people hate them, some people love them. I think the 8 minutes are alright. It just sometimes you'll just get to a point you're like, huh? I'm just not saying as many words as I once was. But yeah, so the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Suns. It's a fun game. Really was. Giannis went God mode. You just couldn't do anything about it. Felt bad for the Suns. It was just like, alright, another day in paradise. Let's get it. But yeah, so Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Usman Garuba if he falls that far, and anybody else. Ayo DeSumo.